What I find interesting about creativity is that, in my experience, it's primarily about a way of looking at things in a new way, as if you're seeing them for the very first time. I remember as a child, I really had that way of looking. I was always very exploring, very much discovering the world around me, which I think all of us had as child. I was always asking questions to my mother. How does this work? How does that work? Why is this like this? And people told my mother, this will go over. This is just a phase. But it wasn't really a phase. I just kept asking those questions and I kept going. And I think that is that childlike wonder and want to know the world, want to discover the world. That is a really beautiful and inspiring energy and way of looking. And I believe that creativity is very much about learning or learning again to tune into that way of looking, to tune into that childlike state and view. So that's something that I've been practicing personally. I've been walking through the park. I look very closely at flowers or even just blades of grass or the barks of a tree, or I touch it with my hand to try to see really how it feels like, kind of rediscovering the world as if you are a baby or a toddler. Um, And I think this really tunes you into this more attentive state where you actually feel how much creative energy there is in just a field of grass or a blade of grass or uh, the stick of a shrubbery or something like that. Of course, you can also have this with art that people make. I love listening to poetry or reading poetry. I have a huge stack of poetry books at the moment. I'm almost manically gathering it from the library and from my own bookcase and from these little libraries that are spread around my own neighborhood. So I think if you want to create something, if you have a creative project, and especially if you're kind of missing the inspiration, for me, the best way is not to just sit down for half an hour a day or an hour a day and just try to come up with something, but instead feeding my mind with inspiration and looking at things in a new way. And I believe that is really a neural pathway that you can practice. As children, we have this way of looking, but then it kind of gets overgrown with anxiety and worrying and thinking about the future and about your life and your personal me story. And that is just one way of focusing that we have learned in adolescence, I think. And you can learn to focus in a new way, focus on inspiration, focus on creative energies everywhere around you. But it is a neural pathway that you need to train. So I think this is not just something like grace or waiting for an epiphany, but it's actually training yourself to look at that way. So that is what I would encourage you to do if you want to get further with your creativity, if you want to make more out of your art, or if you want to get started on a new project or get that fire moving again, is start looking again at the childlike way. And to finish this video off, one of the poets that I find most inspiring when it comes to looking uh, at things anew and in an interesting way is Walt Whitman. Very famous poem, of course, is Song of Myself, which is my favorite. I just finished reading the whole thing and I reread my favorite parts all the time. And I just wanted to read to you my favorite part, which is the ending of the poem. The spotted hawk swoops by and accuses me. He complains of my gab and my loitering. I too am not a bit tamed. I too am untranslatable. I sound my barbaric yawp over the roofs of the world. The last scud of day holds back for me. It flings my likeness after the rest and true as any on the shadowed wilds. It coaxes me to the vapor and the dusk. I depart as air. I shake my white locks at the runaway sun. I effuse my flesh in eddies and drifted in lazy jags. I bequeath myself to the dirt to grow from the grass I love. If you want me again, look for me under your boot soles. You will hardly know who I am or what I mean, but I shall be good health to you nevertheless, and filter and fiber your blood. Failing to fetch me at first, keep encouraged. Missing me one place, search another. I stop somewhere, waiting for you.